In my last video, I talked about Hyakuem. Let us continue with the running theme, but this time let us go longer. Instead of just 100 meters, we are talking about 100 kilometers. If Hyakuem was about running, changing philosophies and unresolved endings, Run with the Wind is more about the runners, their reasons and self-discovery. While watching this show, two questions got me thinking. The first is simple. Normally कहा जाता है कि no one can change us from the outside. Change has to come from within. Otherwise it won't work. But does it really matter whether change comes from within or whether it is forced upon us, if in the end we grow anyway? And the second question sounds strange. What is running? But stay with me, मैं promise करता हूँ this one will make sense. ये anime एक बहुत अच्छा काम करता है. It does not push the sports aspect. It spends a long time exploring the human aspect as well. This show came out in winter 2018 और जब से मैंने इसे देखा था I was a fan. In fact, I have rewatched it many times now and it still manages to engage me. The music of the show is very fitting and does not just blend in the background, it takes center stage whenever the scenes demand it. The anime is made by production IG, so you know it will not miss. ये कहानी है एक आदमी और उसकी ड्रीम की. A dream which is too big to fulfill alone, but he does not have the people who can help him achieve this. What follows next is not recruitment, it's persuasion, patience and sometimes outright manipulation. And together they finish a great undertaking, the Hakone Ekiden. Hakone Ekiden is a real race that takes place in Japan every year, held between Tokyo and Hakone on January 2nd and 3rd. Hakone Ekiden is one of the most prominent university-level long-distance races of the year. Basically, ये एक 10-member race है जिसमें 5 लोग पहले दिन दौड़ते हैं to cover the first 100 kilometers और next day 5 दूसरे लोग दौड़ते हैं to cover the next 100 kilometers. A lot of top universities in Japan send their track teams to participate. हमारी कहानी एक ऐसी ही यूनिवर्सिटी की है जिसमें पढ़ता है कियोसे हाइजी. If I have one thing to say about Haiji, I will say he has the patience of a mountain, unmoving in his resolve and unwavering in his confidence. एक बहुत ही inspiring character from start to finish. He carries this team as their coach, captain and anchor runner. हाइजी के सामने दो बड़े चैलेंजेस थे. पहला to find 10 people who are willing to run और दूसरा to get them into top shape in just 1 year. That's when the race was. None of these people wanted to run. Some did not even like it. And that's where the story gets interesting. कैसे हाइजी ने gradually उन सबको convince किया and how they all came to accept this as a nice little adventure in their lives. Some easier than the others. After all, a little running never hurt anybody. The whole soul of this story are the members of the team. So, let us meet them. Prince, an otaku and lover of mangas, जिसका physical fitness और running से दूर तक कोई नाता नहीं था. But by the end, he showed the most visible transformation, effectively going from never running to competing in one of the hardest races in Japan. Yuki, he is a law student who cleared the bar exam on his very first attempt. With that behind him, he just wanted to enjoy life for a while, a quiet break before the next phase. Unfortunately for him, the peaceful vacation gets completely hijacked by Haiji's sudden and relentless dream. Shindo, apart from the main characters जिनको मैं last में discuss करूँगा, Shindo was the one who stayed with me the longest. He's not flashy, he's not talented in an extraordinary way, but he is sincere. The kind of person who, once he commits to something, puts his entire heart into it. And because of that, he quietly becomes the emotional backbone of the team. During the recruitment arc, one of the characters, King, was feeling frustrated because of the continuous rejections at job interviews. और इस बात का गुस्सा उसने उतारा इस रनिंग टीम और हाइजी के पूरे आइडिया पे. That's when Shindo came in clutch. He asks him a question कि क्या उसे जॉब करनी पसंद है? अगर नहीं तो वो इतनी जॉब हंटिंग क्यों कर रहा है? तो किंग बोलता है बिल्कुल भी नहीं. But a job is necessary to survive. And Shindo replies with something deceptively simple. If it is unavoidable, why not start enjoying the process? जॉब करना तो इनएविटेबल है, वी कैनॉट एस्केप दैट, बट वॉट वी कैन डू इज चेंज आवर आउटलुक। शिंदो किंग को बताता है कि उसे भी रोज दौड़ना, सुबह से शाम तक, सैक्रिफाइसिंग अदर इंजॉयबल थिंग्स इन लाइफ, ये आइडिया कुछ खास जमा नहीं था, पर हाईजी की परसिस्टेंस और फिर पूरी टीम की मोटिवेशन को देखते हुए ही अग्रीड। बट देन ही स्टार्टेड टू एंजॉय द प्रोसेस ऑफ रनिंग लिटिल बाय लिटिल। पहले ही फोर्स्ड हिमसेल्फ टू एंजॉय इट एंड धीरे धीरे ही केम टू एंजॉय इट जेन्युइनली। That idea reminded me of something I read long ago in The Myth of Sisyphus by Albert Camus. Sisyphus एक ग्रीक कैरेक्टर था जिसे गॉड्स ने पनिश किया था। His punishment was to roll a boulder up a mountain every single day. But just as he reached the top, the boulder rolls back down. He would go down and roll it back up for it to roll down back again. Trapped in this cycle for eternity. A pretty sad fate defined by repetition, exhaustion, and meaninglessness. But Camus explains it differently. One must imagine Sisyphus happy, not because the task will end, not because it will become easier, but because if a man cannot change his fate, the only freedom left to him is choosing how to carry it. King. He is a final year student who is actively looking for a job. His nickname comes from his strange talent. He is unbeatable at quiz shows. कोई भी quiz चला लो, answers उसको पता होते हैं. Through King, the story brings in the practical side of life, the compromises, the pressure, and the trade-offs involved in chasing a dream when reality is knocking at the door. निको-चान सेनपाई. इसकी स्टोरी फनी है. जब हाईजी पहली बार कॉलेज आया था तब ये उसका सीनियर था, पर अब हाईजी फाइनल ईयर में है और ये अभी भी वही है। इसका निकनेम और भी फनी है, निको-चान, बिकॉज ही स्मोक्स अ लॉट, सो निकोटीन बिकेम निकोचिन एंड निकोचिन बिकेम निको-चान। मूसा, एन एक्सचेंज स्टूडेंट फ्रॉम अफ्रीका। ऑल्दो ये अफ्रीका से है बट ही इज नॉट अ वेरी फास्ट रनर। ये मैं नहीं बोल रहा हूँ, शो में सब लोग यही बोलते हैं, इंक्लूडिंग मूसा हिमसेल्फ। जोता, the elder twin Jota is a pretty happy-go-lucky kind of guy who, for a lack of a better word, is a simpleton. Joji, not much different from his elder twin, apart from a few animation details. Kakeru. Now, finally coming to one of the main guys. Kakeru is fast, a generational talent, but incidents from his high school days have left him frustrated, closed off, and struggling to connect with people, and running is his outlet. You can call him the show's idea of a perfect runner. Physically gifted, technically sound, yet emotionally incomplete. And at the heart of it all, he is searching for an answer to a simple question: what is running? Haiji, the anchor of this story, the man who starts everything and the one who finishes it, quite literally. Haiji was a sensational runner in high school, fast and confident. But after a knee injury, something changed. Physically, he could still run, but mentally a limitation crept in. In his frustration, he does something interesting. He chooses a goal so big that it would occupy his mind completely, a dream so overwhelming that there would be no place left for doubt. This is when the idea of Hakone was born. But Haiji isn't just chasing a dream, he is on a quieter journey, trying to understand what running really is. Throughout the story, you will often see people resisting Haiji, pushing back against his methods, questioning why he is forcing them into something they never wanted. And while watching this, I realized something uncomfortable. Most of us resist external pressure. हम खुद को बहलाते रहते हैं कि real change must come from within. That motivation has to appear internally, otherwise it will not last. But in waiting for the perfect internal resolve, we keep on procrastinating. Haiji understands this. That is why he pushes. That is why he insists. And that is why he refuses to wait for everyone to be ready. शो में एक सीन आता है जिसमें हाईजी बोलता है, "It is arrogant to think that hard work can solve everything." This caught me off guard. मैंने अपनी लाइफ में कितनी ही बार चीज़ें टाली हैं या फिर प्लान्स और आइडियाज़ को ड्रॉप कर दिया, बस इस इनर मोटिवेशन के इंतज़ार में। हमेशा मैं खुद को ये बोल के समझा लेता था कि कोई बात नहीं, आज नहीं फिर कभी। एक दिन मैं भी फ्लो में आऊँगा और इतनी मेहनत करूँगा कि अपनी सारी ड्रीम्स अचीव कर लूँगा। बट लुकिंग बैक, दैट wasn't hope, that was procrastination wearing the mask of optimism. Because effort matters, but effort alone does not fix uncertainty, fear, or lack of direction. Haiji is not arrogant about effort. He is honest about limits. And maybe that's why he feels so grounded, not because he is certain of success, but because he refuses to wait for certainty before moving forward. At the center of this story are two runners, Kurahara Kakeru and Kiyose Haiji, and they are searching for the same thing. What is running, and why do they run? Let us understand this from Kakeru's perspective. For him, if running does not lead to winning, what's the point? But under this arrogance or immaturity, there is doubt. He is insecure. He thinks the goal of running is to win. Pretty calculated and logical, but not a sustainable way of thinking. Anyone who has ever tried something new out of interest goes through many phases. For a beginner, learning and enjoying are the only things they focus on. With time, this can remain a hobby or it can become serious. This is how it goes. We love doing something, then we get serious, then results take over, and slowly something joyful becomes heavy. Most people drop that hobby somewhere in between. Kakeru abhi usi stage pe hai. He is trying his best that his passion does not become a burden. Kakeru loves running. The verb running, the act, the speed, the escape. ये है running का पहला form. Coming to Haiji's perspective, he is a great athlete and a great coach. जहाँ Kakeru focuses on results, Haiji focuses on satisfaction. Before his injury, Haiji also loved the act of running just like Kakeru. But after his injury, Haiji discovers something that Kakeru has still not seen. Unable to run, standing at the sidelines, he discovered a whole new world, not just focusing on the track in front, but everything around. As a runner, your point of view is very narrow, just the track in front of you. But from the sidelines, you can observe everything. Other people, their struggles, their happiness, regrets. You can see how the crowd cheers for you and so on. So when he could not give his 100% to running, he focused more on other aspects. He focuses on enjoying rather than winning. Basically, Haiji is the final realization of any hobby. Loving your hobby and the world beyond. He is searching for satisfaction now, and how can he achieve it? Haiji loves running. The noun running. Not just the act, but the world around it as well. Training, nutrition, coaching, belief, watching others run. ये है रनिंग का दूसरा फॉर्म. दोनों ही runners are the ideal runners for each other. Kakeru wants to run freely and happily like Haiji, and Haiji sees in Kakeru the opportunity, which he has lost because of the injury, the opportunity to run to his heart's content. They are not opposites, they are not even different. They are the same love at different stages. Most people start by loving the verb, very few stay long enough to love the noun.